everybody? We're back again with the Hardwood Hoops Hangout. Got my man Meek Mill, 1981. Lance Roberson, Lance underscore 972. And we got our man DJ Gonzo Star back, the president. Hater president. Basically, this week we're going to be talking NBA. We're going to throw in some NBA 2K16. The shooting update and Czar's big play update went live. We're going to talk some NCAA tournament hoops, and we're going to preview this weekend's marquee matchups between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Los Angeles Clippers, along with the Thunder and Spurs. And we're also going to talk about tonight's matchup with Golden State versus Portland. Guys, I want to jump right in to last week's matchup of Warriors and Lakers, and the Swag Brothers, as they've been labeled, their coming out party. Gonzo, I want to jump in with you since you hadn't been on in a while, man. Did you get to catch the game, and what did you think?
I think that they shot well. I think they hustled well. The Lakers hustled well in that game. I think Randall had a double. I think he had 12 and 12. They had nice contributions off the bench from Larry Nance. That guy, Huertas, he was pretty good.
Yes.
He was actually pretty good. But I'm going to tell you what they did real good, too. I think they did one of the best jobs of defending those illegal screens, Golden State. They were fighting through those screens. They were cutting them off. And you got to give a little credit to Kobe, too, man. Kobe was playing when he got a chance to stick Steph Curry, he was playing some decent defense. He was forcing Steph Curry into some tough shots. So, I mean, much credit go to the Lakers. I don't think it was a case where the Warriors were just tired and they just couldn't. They were missing shots because the Lakers were playing effective, plain and simple. If you look at the Lakers' last few games and just look at D'Angelo Russell's last month, I was saying like I thought he was going to be a bust, but he had an interview. He said he wasn't getting a lot of plays ran for him, and he wasn't allowed to run the offense. But now I think they're letting him go, and I think he's going to get a whole lot better. And then he's kind of a mismatch because he's like 6'5", so going against 6'2", 6'3" point guards, he's going to be a mismatch.
Meek, what'd you think, man?
Man, Gonzo hit it on. They really defended the Warriors well. Plus, you know, our guy Swaggy P was hitting a couple crazy shots. You know, it was a really good afternoon for them. Like everything went perfectly for them. I mean, even like I know we all saw it, and it should have replayed, even though it didn't count. We all saw the Larry Nance little cradle dunk on the steal. I mean, you saw just how they were getting. The Lakers wanted that game. They really got after it, and they've been awful defensively all year long. And they just, you know, maybe Byron Scott's doing a good job with those young guys. You know, maybe he did know what he was doing, and amongst all the criticism, because he's letting them go. He's just letting them play now. And I like Kobe seems to be taking, you know, kind of a back seat to them and letting them do their thing, which is a good thing.
What do you think, Lance?
Okay, so when Klay Thompson and Curry combined for 13 out of 40 shooting, definitely not gonna do anything. They can't do it every night, evidently. I mean, they are human, thankfully. They are human. I mean, I'm not a Lakers fan, but I guess I can appreciate them getting a feel-good win at least. I mean, I don't know, the way that some of the rookies were acting really goofy and childish. Though I kind of like that Kobe was not having it. I saw the video.
Did you see when Nance got that dunk and Russell was hopping up and down and Kobe's just
staring at him?
There like,
I like that. That's what I appreciate about Kobe. You know, he knows that it's just one game, but it's good for the young squad to get a big win like that. I mean, not many people have beat them this year, so and they also were healthy, so it's not like Curry and them didn't play. So that's a feel good win for them. But I mean, it's a long season. They're still not going to make the playoffs. So.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I'd say is definitely the change in the offensive schemes by Byron Scott. I think that it's played to the strengths of both Russell and Clarkson, although I think over the long haul, Clarkson's more of a spark off the bench.
Right.
But, I mean, look at Julius Randle. He finally got into his own. He stopped shooting those ugly-ass 18-foot jumpers.
Go to the rim.
And he gets to the rim. He hustles and scores that way. Of course, Larry Nance is a hustle guy. they finally started to limit, the minutes for Roy Hibbert, and finally figured out that he's just a bum and he's not gonna end up contributing anything to them. Kobe's, his last swan song. So basically, Byron Scott's turning the keys over to D'Angelo Russell, and it's been nothing but, exceeded my expectations. That's for sure. I still would like to see a redraft of last year's draft, and my Sixers get them, but oh well. But basically with Byron Scott, it's a good chance that he won't be there next year, but I think it's a good for him in the long term of coaching that he's kind of adapted to a different style, and we'll see what the Lakers have in store.
Quick question:
especially for 2017?
Was this the biggest upset in regular season history? I would say no.
No, I wouldn't say biggest upset in history, but
that's what they were saying. Regular season history.
I mean,
about that one.
Of recent history, definitely. This is a crappy Lakers squad, man.
And I think Gonzo can back me up on this. Didn't the Bulls 72 win lose? I believe it was to Toronto. Didn't Toronto get them?
Like an expansion team at that point, huh?
Yeah, they were an expansion team. I believe Toronto. Vancouver came close, but I believe Toronto got them. I could be wrong.
I know the Bucks got them.
Yeah.
And the Bucks were not good back then.
Yeah. And Denver got them that year too. And Denver, I don't think was a playoff team.
I guess what I gotta say about Lakers head coach is not gonna be there. Byron's not gonna be there next year. He's just there as long as Kobe's there. He seems like a Kobe guy. Lets Kobe do his thing, but I think he's just there to ride the losing ship. But when they really want to win, they're gonna hire someone else. Mm-hmm. But like Pete said, it's good for him because a lot of people trash Byron because he's kind of stubborn in a way. Like he's really old school in the way that he would talk to Russell, which is how someone would talk to their kid getting grounded or something. I think it is good that he's kind of getting more lenient because I'm pretty sure he wants to have some type of NBA job in the future, and the game is changing. You can't just talk and treat people the same way that he has been doing.
No.
Because trust me, I understand that he's a rookie, but goodness, like, are you trying to take the kid's confidence from him or what? God.
Another marquee matchup game that happened last week was the Memphis Grizzlies against the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Marquee matchup.
Lack of play by the Cleveland Cavaliers, essence. I believe, if memory serves me, Memphis came out with 8 players.
Yeah.
And
8 or 9
came out.
4 of their starters were out.
Yeah. Dude.
Their best 3 players did not play.
I think that's one.
Go ahead and lead it off. What'd you think, man?
It tells me the Cavs, and I know Gonzo's been saying it for a while. Man, I'm starting to suspect question, can they get to the finals? Like, they're just, and then you got, when you have J.R. Smith coming out and saying there's problems. That's the last guy that should be saying anything. Then you have talk that Kyrie wants out, Kevin Love's going to go. Now, Ryan, is it Windhorst is his name?
Yeah.
And Stephen A. Smith had said that, basically, they didn't say it would happen, but, it would not shock them if LeBron left. It just seems like it's just a mess there in Cleveland. It's crazy.
But
so it would not surprise me. What's
I got
up?
a question to add to that, to what you're saying.
Go ahead.
This is my thing. If David Blatt was the problem, and then Kevin Love was the problem before David Blatt left, then they fired David Blatt. Now I've had a problem with Kyrie. J.R. Smith is talking about what's going on in the locker room. Could the problem really be LeBron?
I don't know, man.
I knew you were going there.
I think it's more of the front office, man.
Possible. I think it's possible.
But the front office has made all the moves
that he wanted them to do.
But I'm saying, you gotta Someone has to control that team that's not a player. Outside, off the court, someone's got to be in charge. And it seems like they're letting LeBron just run the show everywhere.
You know what?
They're scared he's going to leave.
Let him. That's why you shouldn't have traded Wiggins. That's stupid. That's why that trade was so stupid. I'll never agree with that trade. I don't care. You want to win now? I mean, the East is weak. They'd still at least make it to the Eastern Conference Finals with Wiggins.
They would have won last year with him. And he would have been healthy in the playoffs.
He can play D. I mean, he's not great. I mean, he's, raw offensively, but, man.
He could post up enough to get out LeBron to cut through the lane and score easy buckets.
Let me ask you this, because we all heard LeBron. He said, I wanted Joe Johnson, and I would move to the 4 to play with Joe Johnson. So you mean to tell me you wouldn't move to the 4 to play with Andrew Wiggins, who at this point, even as a rookie last year, was a much better player than Joe Johnson? Come on! You got to get out of here.
David Blatt was...
I agree with Gonzo when he said it a while back. He's selfish on the court.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
He's about his ego. LeBron is about himself. Let me tell you something. He's not about winning championships. Because let me tell you something. If he was really about winning championships as a team, he would have stayed in Miami.
Come on, man. Wade wasn't looking great at that point.
See, that's the thing. We keep saying Wade didn't look great, but let's be honest. Those series against the Indiana Pacers, Wade showed up and helped LeBron out when LeBron struggled. Chris Bosh showed up.
Yeah, Chris Bosh is what really got them over the hump.
Ray Allen, Mike Miller, all these players showed up. They had a team. And even when those players were leaving out, the structure that Pat Riley had set up. So when the players they had to get rid of were gone or they were getting old, he can get rid of them and add new younger pieces.
And imagine if LeBron stays, they still probably have Hassan Whiteside. Even though I don't buy him as this great big man, but they still would have had him because they got him for nothing.
All right, so what about Memphis though? The other side of the spectrum. I mean, are they still 10 games above 500 since the last time that we talked? Because I think
in the West.
What seed?
Fifth.
They're fifth.
See, and I thought they would drop hard as soon as Gasol went out, and they're still healthy. That's not literally, but
Memphis is 12 above 500.
Yeah, it shocks me that they're still this high above water right now. I thought they would have plummeted. That speaks to the organization, honestly.
Memphis is looking at what we talked about in the pre-show. Unfortunately, the devastating Achilles injury to Mario Chalmers, with Mike Conley kind of back and forth with getting some injury bugs here and there. Marc Gasol with the broken foot. Come playoff time, that team is going to basically be Lance Stevenson.
Yeah. Well, they're going to get
Tony Allen and Zach Randolph, and that's your squad.
I've never said anything about. I'm just saying, making it there at the seed that they're making it. I mean, yeah, they're going to probably get thrashed.
Will they stay in fifth? Because if you're the 4 seed, you wouldn't mind getting 4, having Memphis as your first round opponent.
If you're the Clippers at 4, you got a breeze walk to.
The problem is now when you get to the second round, you got the Warriors.
Well, that's a.
And you're going to have to play the Warriors or Spurs either way.
True.
So
that's
at
true.
that point.
I'm going to say it now. Call me crazy. I actually think the Clippers have the best chance of beating the Warriors.
Well, we say that every year, and
yeah, I think they do. Just the matchups.
They got to get there first.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't think Houston has a good chance of?
I hope Houston doesn't even make the playoffs. All those fans in Houston who kept saying how great James Harden was last year, and that I was a hater because I never picked the Rockets. Yeah, you're seeing the team that they really are.
I ain't gonna lie, I picked them to be the MVP though.
Come on.
Hey, Howard was out a lot. In all fairness, Howard was out a lot.
Stats lie, but you know what I mean? This is why everybody says that. Dwight Howard is a bum. He's overvalued.
He's not a bum.
He's a bum.
He's not a bum. I would want him on my team, but not at the price that he's asking for.
But
dude, he's still a presence. He just has no post game.
But look what happens. Every team he goes to, there's problems. He's a cancer.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I wouldn't want him on my team.
All right, what do you think, Gonzo? What do you think about Memphis come playoff time, given more than likely with them being the 5th seed right now? You're looking at probably the Clippers unless, Memphis just falls off a cliff in the next 19 games. it basically sets up the Clippers pretty nice. What do you think come playoff time?
That'll be a clean sweep for the LA Clippers.
Yes.
Wow.
Memphis Grizzlies, like I say, I understand all that grit and grindhouse defense and all this.
Zach Randolph.
If you're not scoring points, your defense doesn't matter. It's just that simple. You can't win. You don't score points on defense that often. So, you gotta at least be efficient on the offensive end. And you got Lance Stevenson, you got Ray McCallum, you got who else? You got Tony Allen, you got Zach Randolph, Mike Conley. Sounds like a loser.
You don't even got Courtney Lee anymore. God, I forgot.
They got P.J. Hairston.
God, I forgot they don't even got Courtney Lee. I was gonna bring him up, and I just remember they don't even got him.
The great P.J. Hairston.
It's gonna be rough for Memphis.
Yeah.
Dave Yorger deserves, some credit though, because he definitely outcoached Tyronn Lue, and carrying that team with all the injuries they've had this year. I mean, he's done a really good job for them. So I still think Coach of the Year is going to go to Terry Stotts because nobody in their right mind thought that Portland would be in the playoff hunt.
They lost 4 starters, man.
Coach of the Year, Luke Walton.
Actually, it would be Steve Kerr. It would be Steve Kerr. It wouldn't be Luke Walton.
Yeah, I know. What about? We'll talk about that a little later. Dave, Coach of the Year. We won't get into that.
All right. Going kind of closer into this week, we had the final matchup ever of Kobe Bryant versus LeBron James. Kobe put that work on LeBron.
God, dude,
for 26 points on 11 of 16 shooting. Gonzo, I'm gonna start with you, man. What did you watch the game, and if so, what'd you think?
I saw some of the highlights. It just goes to show you again. At first, I used to really hate on Kobe Bryant, but the older closing out Kobe Bryant has showed me a little something like. And I used to dislike him so much because I felt like he was trying to be like Mike, but who doesn't want to imitate
he
the
was.
best?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. He was.
You imitate. You imitate the best.
Greatness.
So there's just shouldn't be a problem with that. And that's some hate I had to get over. Second of all, it goes to show you that LeBron has been doing a lot of stuff off athleticism. Kobe Bryant is a much more skilled offensive player.
Fundamentally,
he's a better basketball player.
Player. If people kill me when they say LeBron's such a great defender. Like LeBron's a good chase down block guy. Like he'll chase down a point guard and squat it off the glass, or he'll stick a point guard because he can body them. But he can't offensively. He can't hang with a Kobe Bryant or a guy like Michael Jordan, let alone Oscar Robertson for that matter. Because these type of players are just like they're skilled. They're good at what they do on the offensive end. And I don't think LeBron can stop players like that. I think they intimidate him some.
Hey, there's only one guy he seems to get the best of, though, that's really skilled, is Kevin Durant. He gets the best of him all the time. I don't know why. And Kevin Durant is super skilled.
Yeah,
that's the one guy.
Because he's built like a freaking tree branch.
He has got Kevin Durant's number. Like, hey, I guarantee you won't see LeBron stick Russell Westbrook, though.
That's a robot.
Oh, no. He's running past him.
Hey, you can't be getting on the tall, lanky, skinny guys there, Lance.
I'm short and skinny, so I can talk about skinny people. I know a skinny
tall
one.
and lanky, so I got to defend my man Kevin Durant. I got the same type of build.
He's good. Hey, Durant just, as great as he is, he's
just not built.
Got his number. For whatever reason, he just does. That's Kevin Durant's kryptonite is LeBron James.
Well, he can't bench press 150 pounds, and
man, I guarantee you.
It doesn't really matter because he puts that work in on.
Yeah, it goes to show you maybe weights are a little overrated if you're super skilled.
You just got to know how to.
I don't know.
Know how to work the defense and get your shot off. And Kevin Durant's release is so high and he's so quick with it that nobody's gonna be able to touch it.
Yeah. He's 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Right. So, anything you guys want to add on the Cavs side of the game?
Yeah. I thought it was funny that Well, this has to do with the Lakers too, but it speaks to Kyrie Irving's lack of defense. Russell was so confident in the beginning when Irving was guarding him. I think he got the first couple of shots. He at least had 9 shots in the first quarter alone.
He had 10 points at the quarter. I think
He had, I think he had like a 3 or 2. He looked in. I was surprised that Kobe didn't grab him and say, "Hey, you're shooting too much" or something, because he was letting off early ones, and he looked very confident with Kyrie on him.
Swag brothers.
I watched the first half. I didn't watch the second half because I knew it was going to be trash. 'Cause I knew Cavs were going to stop playing with him and kill him. But the thing that stuck out to me is J.R. Smith's horrible off the backboard alley-oop that somehow LeBron saved and still dunked. Have y'all seen it?
No, I didn't.
Y'all gotta see it. He threw it off the backboard, but he threw it like way to the right, not to usually they throw it kind of in the center. He threw it way to the right, and LeBron had to like catch it last minute with his left and jam it. I mean, it was close. I really appreciated because usually these games they're like you think they're gonna be great and have great moments, but sometimes it's just a dud. But in the first half, Kobe and LeBron going at it was special. Like Kobe would do his signature post fake and then go in with the layup, and LeBron would go the other way with a dunk that drive past Kobe.
Hey.
I just thought it was a special game in the first half.
Yeah.
I mean, the second half was not great, but the first half was beautiful, and that's all I wanted was at least a good amount of basketball between the two where they were playing at a high level, and I appreciate that Kobe gave that to us for one last time against LeBron.
Let's not forget about in the very opening moments everybody saw the dunk that Mr. Julius Randle got.
Yeah, that was sick.
That was
Dude,
nasty.
He reminds me of Charles Barkley on the fast break. Am I crazy?
No.
He reminds me exactly of Charles Barkley.
He's just left-handed. That's the only difference.
Yeah. That dude, that's why I never understood why in the beginning he was taking like mid-range shots when honestly he could just go down low and get what he wants.
See, I don't think a lot of people. Julius Randle can handle the basketball.
Right, exactly.
He can really dribble.
Yep, I saw that. I've seen that, and I really just I look at him and I think Barkley, like on the break, like him so confident, and him like doing behind the back passes and stuff like that.
He can't
like
shoot like Barkley because Barkley could shoot.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Just on the fast break.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
Absolutely.
And Marcelo looked good. At one point, he was like 5 for 5.
Yeah, he's been playing well for them.
Yeah.
The experience of playing internationally for so many years at a high level, it's kind of like, I had to say, but it's kind of like Pablo Prigioni when he came over to the Knicks.
Right.
Just that experience, being able to run the team. You don't score much. You don't have to be this all-out athletic defender. You just do enough to keep the second unit going.
Hey, and he was like 34, 35 at the time. He was older than Marcelo is now. So just imagine that. Coming into the pros at 34, 35 in this day and age of the point guard, that's special.
Well, sticking with some NBA before we get into some other topics.
Yeah.
The Chicago Bulls are playing right now. They have a 21-16 lead over the Miami Heat. Doug McDermott just hit a bank three-pointer.
We'll take it.
But I want to talk about their playoff hopes. Right now, they're in the 9th seed. And I know we got Gonzo and we got Matt here that are some Bulls fans. So I'm going to go to those two first. What are their chances of getting in the playoffs versus Detroit, who's currently in the A spot? Gonzo, I want you to fire off first.
I think Detroit's going to take it. I want the Bulls to not make the playoffs.
Damn.
You know why? Because they have to get rid of John Paxson and Gar Forman. They have to. Because they went through so many coaches. And it's always been those two who have fired every coach that they've had. Scott Skiles was a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
Vinny Del Negro was not a great coach, but
he was good though.
He was decent.
Yeah, he was decent.
He was good.
Decent.
It was okay.
Thibodeau, who was a good coach, wasn't really a great offensive coach. I think he could have hired an assistant coach who was a good offensive planner to assist him. It could have been better, but they fired Thibodeau, and pretty much I see that they're going to do the same thing for Fred Hoiberg eventually. But if they miss the playoffs this year, I think the owner might look down and say, well, it might just be you two guys. I might have to let you go and put somebody else in this position to do this thing all over, because you fire that many coaches, it starts to look like maybe it's not a coaching problem. It's starting to look like it's maybe a GM problem now.
Yep.
So
Okay.
the problem is John Paxson and Gar Forman. They gotta go.
Okay. What you got?
Man,
What you got?
I think it's going to come down to the last 5 games to probably determine who gets. And I want the Bulls to get in, but because I'd love to see them knock the Cavs out in the first round, as you saw my crazy prediction last week.
Mm-hmm. That'd probably be the best thing in the East.
Man, that would be awesome.
The best series, period. First versus 8th.
When healthy, like we've seen this year, like the Bulls are really good when healthy. Just like any year, they're really good, and they actually have the Cavs number when healthy, which is crazy. They've got LeBron's number now. They can beat the Cavs when healthy. But man, like they like, and I've talked about it before. This is if Gar Pax, if they stay, this is going to end ugly. And I will say this now. I believe Jimmy Butler's a top 10 player in the league, but he does not fit in with the he does not fit in with the Hoiberg system. It just doesn't work. So here's the thing. You got to choose. Are you gonna go Jimmy or are you gonna go Hoiberg? If I am GM, you take the player every time. I'm going with Jimmy. So you retool that, but they're not gonna it's gonna end ugly. And I read a report that they're in love with Hoiberg, so I don't think I don't think he's a bad coach. He gets unfair. I saw someone on Twitter today post like every coach in the NBA, any coach over Hoiberg, get the hell out of here with that crap. Hoiberg is a good coach. He does not have the players that fit his system.
Yeah, I was about to say this roster isn't his; it's Thibodeau's. Next year will be his roster. Next year.
Well, if the front office makes moves, but it's going to end ugly. Either Hoiberg or Jimmy will be gone by the trade deadline next year. One of those two is going to go. I mean, I'd go with Jimmy because the guy's. I mean, he's the best. Gonzo he's the best 2-guard in the league.
Or Klay Thompson?
Defensively, right? I mean,
1A. I say that 1A and 1B. It just depends on what you want, what system you want to run. He's better. Both of them are better than James Harden, who, Gonzo said, is a glorified 6-man. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So y'all remember when Vinny Del Negro got into that physical confrontation with Paxson? Y'all remember that report?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, man. Why? When you hear stuff like that, that just makes you scratch your head. Like these are supposed to be professionals, you know, and they came like close to coming to blows, man. And these guys are supposed to be the level-headed ones of the team.
Yeah.
And like Gonzo said, they've been here forever. I mean, the gyms, it seems like it's almost like they're bulletproof, man. And that doesn't just go with the Bulls. That just goes for a lot of the, professional teams. Even in football, man, it seems like it takes about 4 or 5 coaches to realize, hey, well, maybe they're just not hiring the right people and the right personnel.
Well, they've got to shore up their bench play for next season.
Yep.
Aaron Brooks, just watching this game just now and all season, I mean, I just want to throw up in my mouth every single time.
Ooh.
I mean, I can't take it. I'm sorry. He's just that bad.
He sucks.
I mean, and then you've got Tony Snell. I mean, his ass got. If you can't start over Justin Holiday, who was a 3rd stringer for the Hawks and the Golden State Warriors, I mean, you're done. You've got McDermott, who's solid, but he's having to play kind of out of position a little bit at the 4.
That is weird. That is weird.
He had to because of all those injuries. Now because
of the injuries. You've got Derrick Rose, who's injured every other game. It seems like he gets momentum, and then he's hurting it. And I just don't. I don't get it. You got rid of Kirk Heinrich, who wasn't going to do much for you, but you didn't do anything to shore up yourselves for a big playoff push.
No.
And with them, you guys are both right. Foreman and Paxson's they've got to go. And they've got to decide now. They cannot wait until the middle of next season to decide on Hoiberg and his system or whether we'll go ISO Jimmy.
Got to go before the draft.
It's not going to work. If you're going to get something for Jimmy Butler, get it over the summer.
The Celtics offered that draft pick, that Nets pick for Jimmy. They might as well have just taken it.
I might have taken it, maybe.
If you're going to go with Hoiberg going forward, because if you get the #1 pick, then Simmons can run that offense because that's just the type of player he is. If you get the #1 pick, but you got to make that move.
And they've got to figure out. I mean, Nico, he's looked okay coming back from injury.
Yeah.
But they've got to develop him more. Give him another season because he's been injured this year. Taj Gibson's not somebody you build around. Pau Gasol is going to be a free agent. So you've got to figure out what you're going to do identity-wise with that team. Because next year it's going to be the middle of the Eastern Conference, and that's not going to get you anywhere.
It's going to end bad. If they go in the current direction, it's going to end bad at the trade deadline next year.
Right.
At some point, it's going to end bad.
On the other side of that, the Detroit Pistons, I mean, look what they did at the trade deadline. They get Tobias Harris to play the power forward spot. They get rid of Brandon Jennings, who, he could be a spark of the bench scoring, but he wasn't going to get much playing time. And Ilyasova is what he is. He, could give you, 2 or 3 out of every 10 to 12 games of good production, but otherwise, I mean, he's a role player. So he's a
spot-up three-point shooter at the most.
They upgrade there. They also get Kentavious Caldwell-Pope back from injury. They give the experience to the backup point guard to Steve Blake, who can run a team. He's a locker room leader. And Jody Meeks is coming back from injury. I mean, he's a scorer, right there that could be a shooter that they need to space the floor. So everything that they did at the trade deadline put them in the position to be in that 8th spot, possibly even the 7th spot come playoff time. So you guys have anything you want to add about Detroit before we move on?
It's not really Detroit Pistons. It's more like the Detroit Magic right now. I mean, Van Gundy he's doing his work, and it's gradually he's been trying to do this, and it's looking like he's making that same formula with what he did with Dwight Howard. And
Andre Drummond's going to be better than Dwight Howard.
I want to see this. I want to see them in the playoffs because I mean I've always been big on Detroit ever since the Billups days. So
Stan Van Gundy's got LeBron's number.
Oh, well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves here.
You know what? Hey, in 2009, when everybody had Kobe and LeBron, I wish we had I called it Orlando in the fight. The matchup was really bad for Cleveland that year.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't have faith in LeBron. I was a LeBron hater at that time.
It also helped that I think Orlando played a Celtics team without Kevin Garnett, too. So
Absolutely.
that was the biggest blow.
We saw what happened the next year.
What you got, Gonzo? Anything to add there?
Detroit, I mean, I see him doing a little better, but like I say again, I just don't see them as a good matchup for Cleveland. Like Orlando was good only because they had Dwight Howard, Shaw Lewis, they had
Turkoglu
in his prime.
Nelson.
Yeah.
So they had guys who could knock down shot space in the floor.
Yeah. And then they had guys off the bench who could shoot.
Rayford Austin was good off the bench.
J.J. Redick could hit shots.
Let's just think now. Like, if you look at the Pistons, like, who on the Pistons floor is going to stretch the floor? Stanley Johnson?
No, they don't hey, honestly, the only one that can is Jody Meeks, and he's hurt.
Yeah. But Reggie Jackson, though, man.
He's like Jameer Nelson.
Wow, really?
He's just more of a 3-point shooter. Like Reggie Jackson's more of a penetrating.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He can he gonna make Kyrie work. They're gonna put Deli on him.
He can shoot though. He's not a great shooter, but he's a good shooter.
He's decent.
Streaky though.
They said he has the most pull-up threes besides Curry. I think that's what they said.
He's a good shooter. He's not great.
Yeah.
No.
Well, moving on to a team that they are out of the playoffs. I called it at the beginning of the year with my predictions. 31-33 wins at the very most. The New York Knicks. I guess the quote came out today that Phil Jackson said they are not going to search for a point guard for that team. That
They're going to go forward with Calderon.
Well, he wants both Carmelo Anthony and Kurt Rambis to return to the team next season. I personally have said time and time again, both on Twitter and I've said it on the Hangouts, any Knick team that has Carmelo Anthony is not going to win a championship. And we've all seen what Kurt Rambis has done since he's been there. He refuses to play Jerry and Grant. He's all about benching Kristaps Porzingis because, well, he's not down in the post and he's not scoring. If you watch Porzingis, does he look like a damn post player to you right now? No. Put his ass at the three-point line and let him do work until he gets his body built up.
Yeah, put him in pick and rolls, pick and pops.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is a. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, guys, I'm gonna let you run with it. Go ahead. Whoever wants to.
I mean, this is another thing. Like an old, stubborn, old school player turned coach trying to kill the rookie's self-esteem. Man, we saw what Porzingis was doing in the beginning of the season. No highlights were post up. It was put back dunks and using his, his tall, lanky build to beat people off the dribble. Every now and then. Yeah, shooting a little bit. I mean, this man is not a post player. Look how skinny he is. Why would he be in the post?
Yeah.
He's not a post player. I didn't think the Knicks would make the playoffs. They're a better story than I thought they'd be this year with Porzingis doing what he was doing. But, I mean, if you really thought the Knicks were going to make the playoffs, even in the weak East, you're just too optimistic for me. So
I'm too optimistic because I thought they were going to get in.
Yeah, you also chose Porzingis to be an all-star.
I did. I still would have picked him as an all-star. I would have rather seen him than fucking Al Horford. I'm sorry.
Man.
I'm sorry. Al Horford is good. Would you Lance, be honest. Do not say who's the better. Who would you rather see? Al Horford's boring ass or Porzingis in the All-Star game? Come on now. Be honest.
But it's about who deserves it, not who I want to see.
I still think Porzingis.
Yeah, that's true. It's about who deserves it.
Who deserves it? Because Kobe didn't deserve it, but
All right, Gonzo, I know you're about to go in on the Knicks because they suck. Yeah. So you got the floor, man. Go ahead.
I'm tired of Phil Jackson.
What?
Yes.
I'm tired of Phil
Wow.
Jackson. And I'm gonna tell you something about Phil Jackson. I'm sick of Phil Jackson with. In Phil Jackson, I've said this before. Yeah, he won on championships with Mike and Kobe.
Disrespectful.
Phil Jackson is an opportunist. He slid right in with Doug Collins players, and he won those 3 rings. He had Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, 2 of the top 50 players of all time.
And Horace Grant.
And
And
he went
Dennis
to the Lakers
Rodman.
team. Look, then he went to the Lakers team. Yeah, Dennis Rodman, cool coach. Then he ended up going to the Lakers team, right, with Kobe, Glenn Rice,
Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal, Mitch Richmond,
Rick
Rick
Fox.
Fox,
Yep.
Robert Horry, Derek Fisher. do I need to say anything more? Do you see why he hasn't came down and coached the Knicks? It's not because he's old and he's tired of travel. No, because he realized what? This team isn't good enough for me to win with. And I don't have the players that I need to make it easy on me. So what I'll do is I'll sit and make sit and make the choices in the GM position. So if anything fails, I'll just say
It's the coach's fault.
Man, you are being so disrespectful from a man from Chicago like yourself.
Hey,
Bulls
hey,
fan, being so disrespectful
I've
of Phil Jackson.
I've never been a Phil Jackson
I've
fan.
always said this about Phil Jackson. He is the best manager of egos
Right.
coach we've ever seen.
Right, maybe not so coach.
The best coach, and I believe Gonzo will be with me on this, Greg Popovich, greatest coach of all time.
I'm gonna ask
Yes.
somebody else too. I'm gonna ask somebody to that. Greg Popovich. I'm gonna tell you somebody else. Larry Brown was a good coach.
Yes.
Man, he coached, man,
He
to
won
have
championships at every level, high school, college, and
Darko Milicic's career, though. Well, I do have to say that.
what did you say?
What if Darko Milicic would have been what Porzingis, not the shooter, but just coming out and being able to
honestly, I think Darko was one of those all hype guys. He was a workout player.
And this
He
was
probably
before
looked
the
bad.
internet was at the
I
way it
think
is now, too.
My guess is he was a workout player. He looked great in workouts, and they were smart because we know Larry Brown does not like rookies. It would have been stupid to draft Carmelo because he wouldn't have played that much.
Yeah.
And they didn't need him because Tayshaun Prince fit their system perfectly. Hit open shots, 6'10", great defender, can do those things, doesn't need the ball. He fit perfectly. Carmelo isn't, that wouldn't have worked. They weren't really an ISO-heavy team.
Would you guys say, Gonzo, you touched on both Larry Brown and having Popovich in there. I've got to add one more coach in there, Pat Riley.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Oh, is he another opportunist?
Yes, because he's always had the opportunity when he
That's
gets
right.
organizations who's willing to spend a lot of money to buy all the.
But
best
why?
players.
But why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you not want that situation?
That's like
Why
me going to
wouldn't
the
you?
basketball court. I don't go to court to choose the best players. You know what? I go in with the five that I know, and they might even be that great. But we want to beat your team. To me, it's
Okay.
more honorable to win
With your
when I
boys,
don't-
yeah.
when I don't have to team up with all the best. Like what LeBron them does. LeBron them when they won the two championships in Miami, which David Stern so kindly gift wrapped and gave them.
Oh man.
They went and got he signed D Wade, Chris Bosh, Shane Battier, Mike Miller,
Yeah, Rashard Lewis.
Rashard Lewis.
This is when he wasn't even that good though, right?
But the point
Ray Allen. Ray Allen.
That was an opportunity to win because they brought all those players on the team. This is something that's unique about Greg Popovich. Well, I would have to say he's probably the greatest coach. And then after that, I would probably say Red Auerbach.
But I mean, it's the culture too. It's not just the coach. It's the culture.
I gotta throw something in there. Remember when he fired Stan because he had Shaq and Wade?
Yeah, that he
Riley
did
fired
Stan
and
dirty.
He steps in
dirty.
and takes over, and he wins the championship. That
He did
same
him dirty.
Come on,
Yeah,
He did
I
him dirty.
was
Now,
thinking more of Pat Riley pre-Miami Heat and all that, but
let's
you
look
know,
at Pat.
yeah.
Let's look at
The
let's
Knicks.
look at the first maybe 2 or 3 championships the Spurs had. Right? They won those championships playing half court basketball. Tim Duncan post up.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan started to age a little bit. They said, okay, now we're going to go to being a fast break team that
Yeah.
plays defense and shoots the three really well.
Yeah.
And they excelled at that too.
Yeah.
With a
Hey, you
whole
know what's
new
funny?
group of
And he puts
guys.
good personnel around him.
And
so-
that first Spurs championship team, like in that shortened season back in '98 and that '99 season, like Robinson was old, coming off an injury a couple years where he missed the whole season. Duncan was only a second-year player. Who else did they really have besides an above-average Sean Elliott?
So we're just not going to say Gary Sloan?
They won with Avery Johnson as their point guard. Hey, Rick Carlisle's another great coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rick Carlisle.
Jim
Hey,
Carrey himself.
What Rick Carlisle did after the Mouse and the Palace and still got the Pacers to the playoffs,
Yeah. That Pacer team is going to win the championship.
that was one of the greatest things I've ever seen a coach do.
Yeah.
Because all that roster was depleted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't how many? We know Artest got kicked out for the
Jermaine
year.
O'Neal.
Yeah, Jermaine O'Neal got a ton of games.
Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're key players. And Reggie was hurt that game, too.
And he was old.
And Tayshaun Prince, oh, God, Tayshaun Prince made me cry when he blocked Reggie Miller.
That's why Tayshaun Prince was perfect for Detroit. Because if they have Carmelo Anthony, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, you're right.
Man, look
Right.
at
That doesn't
that.
happen. Indiana's in the finals.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. He was perfect because Larry Brown's a defensive-minded coach. Carmelo
He's a-
and Anthony. When has
he's a
Carmelo
rebuilder.
Anthony ever been a the scariest thing about Melo. This is the best defense he's ever played is this year, and he's average at best.
Yeah, at best.
Yeah, and this
It's
is the
better
best.
than James Harden defense on Shaqtin' a Fool every night.
Man, God damn, James Harden really. pissed
Man,
me
but
off.
the Phil Jackson slander is real tonight, guys. I'm sorry for everyone listening that, had to hear all that.
Hey, Gonzo. Hey, we're Chicago guys, but man, it's
I
the
know,
truth.
goodness.
It's the truth. I'm not gonna say he's a terrible coach because it
No.
takes a great. You got to manage those egos. You got to have some.
He is an
it's gotta be
opportunist,
special.
but,
He is an opportunist, though.
Yeah, he
That's
is.
the perfect analogy.
Like when he was having all these crazy demands, like, oh, I don't want to travel on the road and all this. I'm like,
Yeah,
no.
come on now.
Like the
Come on
Lakers,
now.
that's why I don't really blame the Lakers for not hiring because he was trying to like make them jump through fire hoops and stuff to sign him.
They still should have hired him over D'Antoni.
Well, yeah, they hired 2 or 3 coaches in like a month or two, so they didn't do
Guys,
so
I'm
good.
going to switch gears here.
Go.
We're going to jump topics ahead, and I'll go back to what we're going to talk about with the rookies. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
want to jump into NBA 2K16. We haven't talked about it on the show in a while. First things first, before we open the floor up to Gonzo, because he's who I want to go first. Before we open it up to you, Gonzo, I want to highlight the resident president of Sim Nation, Dazar, for putting out not only a Oklahoma City playbook update, but he went through and updated pretty much 80% of the plays in the game to trigger a lot more of the screen actions and clean up some of the plays. So we haven't heard a lot from him. I know he's been busy doing that support for 2K16 and gearing up for 2K17. But we wanted to go ahead and give him a shout out for that, because that takes a hell of a lot of time. It's tedious, long hours of work. So, definitely hats off to him. Moving forward, there was a couple shooting updates from Mike Wang himself. He put one out about a week ago that was supposed to help with more green releases. And then one more recently went out on Thursday, yesterday, I believe. Gonzo, I'm starting with you, man. The floor is pretty much going to be yours for a while. I want you to tell me what you're seeing with 2K16 and the shooting updates, and just what's your thoughts overall, man, because I read a lot of your Twitter stuff, and for those that don't, I want you to go ahead and give your thoughts, man.
First of all, I want to do the same thing you just did. I want to give another shout out to the Czar, because let's be honest, from all the development staff at 2K, the Czar is the only one who's put out videos and showing us the features in the game, showing us how to run the plays, giving us all the updates. He's the only one who's actually, seemed to me, is putting in the work for the community to try to make the best of the game. So I give the Czar a shout out on that. But let's get back to this shooting update thing. Let me tell you something. I don't know what the hell they're doing over there in the office. Green releases. I haven't had a green release 3 wide open yet. Let me tell you something. Please, people out there in Sim Nation, people out there that's listening to this. 2K is utter bullshit of a game. It sucks. It's crap. We're not just going to talk about the shooting. First of all, that whole ratings update. Why the hell are the ratings even in the game? Because they basically negate it when the game is close, or whenever the computer needs to stop or play, or whenever you're winning by so much. Like online, this is the problem I have with the game. They have algorithms programmed into the game, right? My problem with the algorithm is that if I have a good first half, my second half is going to be bad. Or if I have a good first quarter and a bad second quarter, my third or fourth quarter, one of those quarters is going to be good. So I'm almost guaranteed 2 good quarters. I can never play a consistent game where I'm just good throughout, just because my skill and the plays I'm running, my strategy is going to allow me to be that way. It's like the gameplay has like a fair play mode that they used to have on Madden when you're playing online, especially, where it keeps the games close on purpose so the other person won't get angry and quit because he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Like, what's with that? Transition D is still messed up. If you play against the CPU, you'll notice when you shoot shots, the computer's already leaking out to go to the other end. When the computer takes shots, your men are stuck. Even when you have to run in transition, your men stand still and just watch the ball. One thing about 2K, you can't take advantage of the open spaces on the court. Like, you can get a clean dribble to go to an open spot. You can cross a guy and get to an open spot, but a force field holds you back. But meanwhile, I can go down the court and hold turbo, and I'll just sneak and slide right past a guy for an easy bucket for a layup. The mechanics of this game are horrible. Like, and what makes me so mad, I guess, with the Sim Nation community is that so many people are so into just kissing ass for the game. Like, the game is, oh man, come on, man, you can't complain about the game. It's 2K, man. This is the best basketball game ever had. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm cutting, and I'm gonna tell you something. I'm cutting with a butter knife. I'm not trying to make it clean and crispy. I'm tired of it. The game is crap. It's so much BS. It's so much BS in the game. I'm gonna tell you what 2K is. 2K it's like a muffin. You got different varieties with the modes. It looks really, really pretty, like a red velvet cake or carrot cake. But guess what? On the inside is all high fructose corn syrup. It's bullshit.
Damn.
That's what it is. The game is bullshit.
Gonzo, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so like you, I do get upset with 2K, and I'm horrible. I'm just an idiot. I'm just an idiot. I sold it 3 times and I buy it back 3 times.
Hold on, guys. Let me ask this question. Between the Gonzo, how many times you didn't happen to give the game away this year, did you?
Yo, actually, I traded my game in. The game copy I have right now is my buddy's.
Okay.
He left it at my house. He left it at my house, and guess what?
Right.
He hasn't even came back to pick it up, and he's.
You've been playing it. So that's what I was gonna ask you. What gets you? What got you back to playing it? Like, what's your reason?
I'm gonna tell you the only reason why people play the game. I'm gonna be honest with you, and people really don't complain. They try not to. They have the main people that tell me don't complain about it. I go back and look at their tweets, and they complain about the same stuff I've been talking about all along. But they make me look like I'm crazy when I'm talking about it. I'm gonna tell you why people play it, because truth of the matter is, it's a basketball game thirst out here. We all want basketball because we enjoy the sport.
Yep.
So, since we don't have competition, and 2K is I've always said this here, live and 2K are 2 different type of games. 2K is the pretty girl with all the problems. Live is the ugly girl who doesn't quite have everything, but she has a few things that you might need.
But there's no depth.
But
that's a problem.
That's what I'm saying. But no, it's a few things that Live has correct. Live animations are very stiff and they're weak. The graphics is not great.
They're cartoonish.
They're cartoonish. But see, it's a lot of little things that they do right. Like if you go in instant replay Live, you'll see that the CPU is head tracking the ball. Just go look how their eyes are watching the ball. There's no bullshit still animations.
Yeah, the behind the back. Don't even see the ball coming. They just put their arm out like that.
There are no bullshit still animations like this. I'm sorry, I disconnected my mic for a minute.
That's my career all the way right there.
There's no bullshit still animations like, who steals a basketball like this here? Nobody steals a basketball like that.
And the computer gets away with the yo-yo effect with the ball.
Hey, it happens online.
If I do that just a little bit,
it happens online too.
Yeah.
The computer, you can catch the computer like when they're trying to do a crossover.
Yeah.
And they can like lose their dribble and they'll take like 2 extra steps on a Euro. I'm like, hold on, that's like 5 steps.
Yeah. But you're right, man.
Every and one. Every and one goes in for the.
There's no competition. You're right, though.
How often do you play online? Because if you play online more, you're getting even more frustrated.
I can't stand online.
I'm gonna tell you, I played online 4 times this year. The first 3 times, the first 2 times I lagged out. I didn't lag out. The other person kind of lagged out, and I got credit for the loss.
Oh wow!
The third time I played, I was the Dallas Mavericks, and I think one of you guys seen it online. I was the Dallas Mavericks, and the other person was the Golden State Warriors. I
watched that game.
4 points.
Mm-hmm.
Came back and won by 4 points.
I watched
the
that
last game I played, I was up by 21 points in the
and
fourth
lost
quarter with about 4 minutes left, and I shot 60% for 3 quarters. The fourth quarter came, I was 27% shooting, and he shot like 81%, shooting nothing but threes.
I played a game this week online. I shot close to 60% the whole game. He shot 43. He beats me by 5.
How do y'all play online without throwing y'all's remote? Cause
man, I
can't do it.
This dude. Hey, you know what I found?
Can't play online.
What players like to do, they understand, and these guys are smart. They understand, and they're having fun, so it is what it is. But they understand the transition defense after a made bucket sucks. So you know what the key is? If you have someone like Russell Westbrook, it's a wrap. You cannot stop him in that game online. He's just going to turbo what they do, and look at when it goes the pregame and it shows what they like to do. And if you're playing the Thunder, you're going to look. Everything's in the paint. Everything is a drive to the basket.
And the lag kills the on-ball defense, man, because all it takes is one slight movement to the right, and he's done burned past you. So the lag does not help. That's what if they fix the lag, I wouldn't mind playing 2K online.
You will get mad online just because of the transition defense on made buckets. That's the biggest cheese I see.
That's horrible.
And everybody, the higher you go up with the little tiers they have, everybody plays off-ball defense, and it really pisses me off.
This is one more thing that kind of irritates me too, is that defense is about is a risk, is a reward or penalty. Perfect example. If I leave Kevin Durant open, it's probably a bad idea.
Absolutely.
But if I leave somebody like Anthony Robinson open, or some Jay Crowder open for 3, that's probably a pretty good decision, considering I might have to double down on somebody like an Isaiah Thomas if he's driving. or doubling up on Kevin Durant driving and Russell Westbrook. The computer. Not even gonna say the computer. I mean, this is even on the line. Bums hit threes at a high percentage.
Yes. But, hey, I played a game last week. This dude was hitting pull-up threes with Dion Waiters. I'm getting open threes, and I was using the Warriors because to me that's the best anti-cheese in the game if you play it the right way. I'm missing open threes with Curry and Klay Thompson, running plays to get them open. He hits a bullshit pull-up three with Waiters 2 or 3 times.
I don't see how you can still play online, man.
I don't understand that.
This is where the sim aspect. This is where I think we want sim, but this is where sim is a blessing because we want our teams to play like this, but this is the curse of it all. The curse of it all is that the game, due to the fact that Philadelphia is just a bad team, it makes it where if I'm playing with Philadelphia,
you're gonna lose
the ball and they'll just lose it.
Yeah.
Or can't get any foul calls. That's something that can't be simulated.
Yeah.
Don't simulate those aspects of the game for me.
Oh, that's another thing too. I swear you don't get enough free throw attempts, man. Is that just me or what? I swear you get mauled.
Yeah,
you get mauled, man. No free throw. And the flagrant foul thing, it's not consistent.
Stupid. It's stupid.
Not consistent.
A basic foul, they'll call a flagrant.
Because there will be plays where, like, have the animations where they don't even go for the ball and I'm on a fast break and it's just a regular foul. And then another time it'll be a flagrant, but it's not as bad.
I know Gonzo's only played 4 times online. I played a ton online. That's most of my games.
Now,
Answer me this. Why have I had 3 or 4 guys hit full court shots on me? But I haven't hit one. Oh, my God. Dude, I was playing
the shot clock cheese is real still.
He throws a full court shot up with Kevin Love, gets all the momentum. I lose in the 4th quarter. Mind you, I had like a 17-point lead on. I'm like, are you serious? He hits a huge and I couldn't score in the 4th quarter.
Hey, I don't know if it's for users online playing, but I know because I play my career every now and then still, and I swear that shot clock cheese comes out like a good amount, like once or twice a game, because they'll be hovered all over them, and they still and this is not like a corner. No, this is like at the wing covered, like a couple feet back from 3, and they'll still hit it. And this happens at least twice a game.
Absolutely.
Look, my opinion is they're never gonna change it.
Nope.
And I keep saying this. I keep saying the same thing, but it's like, and like the 2K17 will not be a purchase for me. I'm waiting to 2K18.
Are you serious, man? That
2K18.
What are you gonna play though, man?
I'm gonna play live.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna.
I might not even. No, I promise you.
Dog, you can't go. I have to play some type of basketball game.
Yeah, I get it every year since it came since the first edition.
Hey, we need college hoops back or 2K hoops. That's what we need back.
2K has so many problems, and all they do is recycle the problems. Like, we had a block system, I think, in 2K10. They got rid of it. Then they brought it back in 2K13 with, we got a new block system. No, you just took it out from 2K10 and put it back in 2K13.
They add old features.
Right.
If you play in video games long enough, you'll know that it's always been like that. Madden has always added features, taking them away. 2K has always added features, taking them away. They're not doing anything new and creative. They're not.
Oh man.
You just think that they are. They masking it with different. This is how they are. This is how they're throwing us off. They're showing us nice trailers with Phil Collins singing. That's what they do. They're showing us.
We all like Phil Collins.
Steph Curry shooting threes, chewing on the mouthpiece. They show us all these.
It's the graphics.
It is. They show you all these fancy dribbles that guess what? You'll never be able to do.
No, I won't. I just know the simple, and I can barely spin off without losing the ball. I don't even try spin moves anymore.
The footage is of the CPU making moves, not a user.
Yeah, exactly.
Guess what? Just in case you didn't notice, there isn't even a post game in 2K. What happened?
No.
What happened to the post game? Seriously, let's be honest.
Spin off. You
What
can't
happens?
even do a drop step on anybody.
And if you go on the baseline, you get out of bounds almost every time trying to post up. You will run out of bounds on that right side.
I don't get that. When you make a move, like if you're coming from like the wing and you make that move, why is it that I'm always going out of bounds?
Yeah, I'm telling you,
baseline, like, come
out of
on.
bounds every time.
It's just like, man, it's the same stuff we've been talking about. It's like, man, it's like after a while, to me, it feel like I'm just being lied to still. Like,
Well, I'm gonna play it because I'm a sucker, obviously, and I just need basketball gaming.
I'm a sucker. I'll say it.
Yeah, I need basketball gaming.
There's another guy online. I used to think he was crazy. His name was Optimus P76. Now he's just Prime 76 or Prime.
Is that the dude that you be retweeting? He be going on rants on those instant replays that he posts?
Like he loves live. And I used to think he was crazy when he said the stuff about 2K. But the more I played, I'm like, he's just like NBA Live had kind of like separated themselves from him before too, because I guess he was too much of a fanatic. But whatever it was, I guess they're back on good terms. But my thing is, everybody kept saying the guy was nuts, right? I thought he was nuts too. So after a while, I started seeing a lot of things he's saying. He started showing me something. I see exactly what he's talking about with 2K. Go check out Gideon Prime's videos. I retweet a lot of his videos. Truth Chasers.
Yeah, I think it's him.
Man, he's been in it for a while. He was actually with the Sim Standard. That was a group of guys on YouTube who used to do videos on Madden. Excellent videos. Excellent points they're putting out about graphics, art, all that. And about the games. Making valid points. And it's just, to me, it's like, we're talking about the same stuff. And what has 2K gave us this year? Let's just be honest. They've given us modes. They tell us how great the game is. They've given us nothing but modes. Guess what? We have Pro-Am.
We have Throwback Thursday card. We have Throwback Thursday pack.
I don't even play Pro-Am or any of that.
Let me tell you something. The dude, LD2K, that got tweeted the other day, he says, nobody cares about locker codes. Fix the game. LD2K told the guy, he says, look at his timeline. He just got shut down on his timeline or something to that effect. And I'm saying to myself, I went and looked at all the comments. All the people that read this guy, saw this guy's comment, they all start dogging the guy because he said fix the gameplay. They want locker codes. Let me tell you.
Right.
When it all boils down to it,
I feel like you get a Stephen Curry like 99 card.
Well, I mean,
Ruby, Diamond, Emerald, Amethyst.
But and I hate that, but that's what brings money. So I mean, if it makes them money, it brings money, man.
Like you've been really deep in this a lot. Are these dudes like really paying their own money to get these cards and stuff?
Yes.
Oh my god.
The night I got in line at GameStop, bro, I saw a guy pay $200 in VC.
A sucker.
Cash.
That's what you call that.
Cash money?
A sucker.
Cash money.
Let's think about something. 2K sold 4 million copies, right? In like a week, right?
Yeah.
At $60 a pop, right? How much is that? That's 240 mil, right?
Yeah.
All right. Imagine how many people probably paid $100 in VC. Just half of those people paid $100 in VC.
Dude, because you get like 10,000 to start out with if you pre-order.
Yeah, that's because these guys want their My Player to be a 99 before
they can go on the park and all that shit stuff and do their thing.
With 240 million, I'm tired of hearing fucking excuses why your game ain't fixed.
Well, they're getting sued for the tattoos, so that's probably down to 200 million.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna have tattoos next year. How much
right.
Game?
I'm gonna say it. Hey, they're giving the people what they want.
My thing is that I've said it time and time again that it's all about the My Team. It's all about the badges. Yep. They don't. It's not about the core offensive gameplay. If it was about core offensive gameplay and people complain about the ratings, I think the ratings are solid for what they are now. But they need to have a scale that fixes for stretch fours because they don't have a system. Basically, the rating system right now is predicated on defense first, which that's what basketball should be. That's fine. But if you've got, a player like Roy Hibbert outrunning Anthony Davis down the damn floor because you're looking at speed ratings from the damn combine from 6 years ago, and you're trying to put that in as your formula. That's not going to work. If you look at the stretch four ratings, they don't have anything that accounts for a Ryan Anderson, anything that accounts for Dirk, anything that accounts for a big man that can shoot from the outside. Even, and I've said this time and time again as well, the tendencies. I mean, you've got Karl Anthony Towns that can step out and shoot threes. Can he do that in NBA 2K16? No, because the tendency's at 0. Somebody needs to come in and overhaul these damn tendencies, whoever it is, because that's what dictates the game engine, not the rating. I think that overall, Mike Stuffer is doing a solid job with the ratings. Now, granted, some of the players I think are overrated. I think Derrick Rose should be a little bit lower. James Harden should be lower.
Yes.
So you have players that everybody's going to have their opinion. But when you have the tendencies and you have T.J. McConnell as a 99 flashy dunk, and you still haven't changed it, and numerous people besides myself have brought attention to it, come on, what the hell? The tendencies are what drives the game. Fix them. And the badges, everybody, the damn updates come out, and somebody goes from 2 badges to 28 badges. Like, what the fuck? Come on, that's not, to me, you don't get a badge, you don't get a damn gold star because you hit 3 threes in a row in real life. Sorry, but...
Hey, if you have one good game, you get a moments card.
Damn, last year, what was the Spurs? It was somebody for the Spurs that dunked, and it was the first time they dunked in a long time. And they got a damn, I think it was a gold dunk package. And it was
if that's the case, where's Dougie McBucket's gold dunk package, man? Because
he got a moments card. He got a moments card.
He deserves it. I'm biased, but man, he's dunking on cats now. Air Doug.
I can care less about my team, and I get that it sells. But when people are spending $1,000 on freaking VC currency, something's wrong with you. You have no girlfriend, no wife.
And we are talking cash money, people, not just virtual. We're talking cash money, people.
If they pay for VC, what else will they pay for?
Damn.
Yeah, it's true. It's got to be. Oh, it was Bellinelli in the chat room. Milo said it was Bellinelli.
Thank you.
That got the dunk last year for the Spurs. First dunk he's had in years.
Thank you.
And he got a gold dunk. And I don't get it. And Stuffer is like I said, doing a great job with the ratings. And I don't think he controls the badges completely. I know for a fact he does not control the tendencies. But please, 2K, get somebody in there to do the tendencies. If I could spend basically 2 weeks of my time last year overhauling the entire game engine and putting out a roster, imagine with me doing that on the game. I didn't have a spreadsheet to work off of or anything. Imagine how fast you could do it by typing in, whatever the formula is that you're going off of in Excel and then running the numbers through and having them show up. It would take you a matter of hours to do that. Once you get it rolling, it's not hard to do. That's my number one wish for next year is fix the tendencies, and then work on the gameplay is second, because those choppy steals that you're standing there like a damn statue and the ball hits you off the hip and the team is going the other way. Come on.
Hey,
the blocks have to be toned down
what
some.
What about that one where a guy just from behind runs into you and you lose the ball because he charged into you from behind?
That's another one.
That's bullshit.
To piggyback off of the tendencies, I'm definitely with you on that, Pete, because I can't even simulate. The simulation in the game is horrible. Mm-hmm. I'll start the season very, very, very strong. I'll be like 3rd seed in February, and then it seems like after the All-Star break, I lose like 5 in a row, and then from there on, it's just horrible. It plateaus, and I look at the stats after I simulate. I'm like, why is this player not touching the ball? He's rated so and so. He's not touching the ball. He's not getting a lot of touches.
That's the touch tendencies there.
Yeah,
that's because they haven't been updated. They haven't updated
the entire year.
Tendency-wise, the entire year.
And that's what I'm saying. Tendencies fix that, and I'll be a lot happier because I can't even simulate and have fun because I like to simulate, seasons, but a lot of times it's not realistic. Like, how is the Pelicans' 1st seed? Like, come on. That was before.
Anthony Davis cover athlete.
Yeah, evidently.
That's right. And James Harden, the best 2-guard in the NBA.
Oh.
MVP.
And 2K he is.
Oh man, I don't get that. He's a 92 now. What the hell is up with that?
Because they don't penalize for defense in the game.
Man,
if you put players at their actual defensive rating, players would drop so fast. Like, look at Derrick Rose. Go in and look at his defensive ratings. That's what's keeping his rating at I think it's at a 79 if I'm not mistaken.
He's an 80. He's
That's
80
what's
now.
keeping him so high. So he's what?
He's an 80 now.
Well, that's even worse.
Yeah,
He should be
yeah.
at a 77, somewhere in there,
Well,
because
he
he's not the
has,
same player.
He has played well the last month.
The last month, okay, but 2K said, well, we're switching to a Hall of Fame scale.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. James Harden ain't no damn 92 on the Hall of Fame scale. His ass is a 54. So,
Stephen Curry.
sorry,
Stephen Curry's now the second greatest player of all time.
Well,
All right, I'll see
I
y'all
don't see
tomorrow.
how when you got. No. I don't see how you got Magic Johnson in there, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, all of them, and they're behind Steph Curry. Don't say it's a Hall of Fame scale. Just come out and say, look, we bamboozled you, and we wanted you to think we played with the ratings and all that stuff over the summer. We really didn't. We worked on the game engine, and then the ratings got too last, so they had to figure out something to come up with. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But what it comes down to is you can't say it's a Hall of Fame scale and then have 8 people in the 90s that are current players. It just doesn't work that way.
Stephen Curry deserves it, though, by the way.
Curry deserves it, but he's not the second best player of all time.
No.
Yeah, they said
His defense, I'm sorry. His
That's not what
defense
ESPN will tell you.
Hey, he is.
Don't even get me started on ESPN.
Hey, he is. But Curry
That's
is.
a whole other
hey,
conversation.
Defense. If you're an analytics guy, Curry is top 3 defense among point guards.
Because he
there's that.
doesn't guard him. Who does he guard?
In his defense, and I was talking to a guy on Twitter. Actually, it was on Facebook. In Curry's defense, the only guys who really guard their man at the point position are Chris Paul, John Wall, and Russell Westbrook. And even then, Durant was on Curry more than Westbrook
Right.
was.
I was going to say Westbrook sometimes.
Yeah, guards
You
don't
can
really
say
guard
Patrick
their
Beverly.
position.
Put Beverly in there
He's not
before you
elite.
put.
Did you say Mike Conley too?
Let me change that. The elite point guards. Don't
Okay,
typically-
elite,
Chris
okay.
Paul probably and John Wall are the only 2 that will stick the opposing point
Okay.
guard.
All right.
Because nobody blasts Tony Parker for that, but he never guards the opponent. If he's playing against the Warriors,
Yeah,
he's guarding
he gets
Harrison
cooked.
Barnes.
He got
He's guarding
cooked against
Harrison
Chris
Barnes.
Paul.
Their team is predicated on defense. So
Yeah.
what I don't get. This is the 3rd year in a row that they haven't touched the tendencies. Last year, all hell broke loose when Jimmy Butler wasn't getting touches, so Jimmy Butler got touched. That was about it as far as players' tendencies. You have to look at those as much as you look at the ratings, because players' tendencies change throughout a new system. If players are hurt, all kinds of things. So that needs to be first and foremost what they look at. The second thing they need to look at is clean up the gameplay animations. Some of the canned animations that are still in the game from years ago got to go. They said they revamped the post game. I could see a little bit of a change, but not enough. The weight is still there. When you are Kristaps Porzingis at 7'3", and you can't post up a damn point guard, say, 6-foot point guard in the post and back his ass all the way down and dunk on him, something's wrong.
Yeah.
There's too much weight there, even on defense. Like when you're driving to the hole, it's like a force field. Your player bumps, and you're on the ground and the ball's going the other way. And it just doesn't make sense to me how they can't clean that up.
Or when it's like you lose the ball, but instead of like going for the ball, it's like you freeze.
Right.
And then the computer will lose the ball and they pick it right back up, but there's a delay when you lose the ball.
And as many great things as Scott O'Gallagher has done for the defensive side of the ball, just the schemes in general, his intellect, basketball IQ, and just how to put systems in, and just his contacts of directly with teams, being able to put all that in has been a phenomenal job. Czar's offensive schemes, best we've ever seen in a game. Leftos putting his heart and soul into the My League, My GM, all of that stuff behind the scene. Then you've got, even Zach Timmerman trying to implement as much as he can post-game wise, along with Stoffer coming in, him and his team, really being on top of the ratings. Because if you go back to what was previous, hell, we didn't get rating updates for 2 months at a time. Now it's pretty consistent of what's going on. It's just got to be cleaned up a little bit, and that'll come in time. But when you only have 20 guys out of hundreds at 2K that are simulation and 4 simulation basketball, then it's just not gonna do much for you. But
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna buy it next year. And
I'm a sucker.
I'm a sucker, man. I need basketball in my life and video games because you just watch it. You watch if you're like me and you just watch a bunch of basketball. You just out of nowhere like, man, you know what? I feel like going on my league and doing this. Like last night, I saw a tweet where it pretty much said Carlisle would leave, we would trade Wesley Matthews, and Parsons would leave, and Dirk would opt out. So I pretty much made it to where everyone was off the team that really mattered, and it's things like that. It's like, and they get deep. And with NBA Live, from what I hear, you can't even customize the rosters. So
well, they're gonna add that next year, I read.
I mean, how is that not there though? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no depth in that game. Like,
you know what? I think
no depth.
Why, and I could be wrong, but I think they tried to concentrate more on gameplay more than anything with that. Not even the graph and the facial scans, because their face scans are actually really good.
Their presentation's not bad either. I like the presentation.
Yeah. I think that's what they focused on more. They weren't really concentrating on the customization of the game.
Well, because they're going to lose no matter what. Yeah. They just have to be respectable.
Now that they've got the gameplay, maybe now is a good time for them to concentrate on the overall appearance. The faces are good for the most part. They got the good face scans, but they really got to go to the they're going to have to go more to the shit, I can't even think of it now.
The animations are...
Yeah, the animations. Yeah, because everything looks like robots.
Yeah, I mean? It's not natural. And 2K is not as smooth either, but man, Live is awkward.
Yeah.
Like the moves and the angles that they take is awkward. They don't look natural at all.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, at least with 2K, like, you get caught up in animations, but at least some of these animations look real. It's just you gotta know which ones we gotta get rid of. But it's not easy because you take one animation out and it might change 2 or 3 other things about the game. So I'm not a programmer, so I don't know, but I'm just talking as a fan.
I'm gonna check out Live next year because they talked about actually being able to edit rosters. The gameplay mechanics are going to be improved. So I'm curious to kind of see where they go with that. 2K will have another year of the core sim guys in there working on gameplay and getting everything in. And if you go back to, the sim hangouts back to, I'd say September, I think it was, before the game came out, Czar said, look, the game's going to be nice this year, but we didn't get hardly as much as we wanted in it for this year. So, we'll see what another year does. Mm-hmm. Guys, I want to jump back into real NBA because I think we sounded off on 2K16 enough, and I know Gonzo had to go because he gets up pretty much at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work tomorrow.
Salute to Gonzo.
Yeah, thanks Gonzo for being on, man. Your rants are always always classic, man.
Always the highlight.
Definitely.
I want to talk about the rookies for the NBA this year. We touched on D'Angelo Russell a little bit earlier. The news broke today that Jahlil Okafor is out pretty much for the rest of the season. Damn. That'll actually give the Sixers a little bit of a preview of Nerlens Noel playing full-time center, kind of what they can go to expect next year. They'll have Joel Embiid there and Dario Saric there, unless some trades go down. But I'm curious to see your guys' thoughts. I think Karl Anthony Towns, no question, is Rookie of the Year. But basically, with Kristaps Porzingis, I think his magnificent season is done with now that Kurt Rambis is handcuffing him. And I think he has hit a little bit of the rookie wall just because of fatigue to his legs and stuff like that. But what are some other rookies you guys see that either have surprised you or really disappointed you?
I'm going to go. I wouldn't say surprised, but he's one of my guys. Devin Booker's been outstanding. I mean, he had, 35 last night?
He's on a tear.
Yeah, last 5 or 6 games he's had, in all but one, he's had 27 or more. So he's really stepped up. He looked good. And D'Angelo Russell, we talked about him earlier. This guy's fantastic. I was wrong. I will admit I was wrong. This guy will not be a bust.
I told you it was early.
This guy's going to be an elite player in the NBA. And Lance was also right about Pau Gasol. Great player still. But D'Angelo Russell's going to be, oh gosh, he's going to be fantastic. It's just his, and I'll say it, I hate this term, his swag though. It's just there. He's got it. He's super confident.
Yeah, he showed it last night, man. He was not afraid.
And he can shoot the basketball too. And his vision is off the charts.
And he seems to have the right amount of length.
Yes.
Yeah, being 6'5", yep.
Yeah, he's got a length on him, so he's not just a short. He's a point guard with some range as far as his wingspan and stuff.
By the Lakers having with the, you're seeing him, the resurgence of Russell. He's playing great, fantastic. Randall's starting to play great. Clarkson looks like a legitimate 6th man of the year type player in the future. They're going to get some players there. LA's going to be back on the map.
I will say, man, it saddens me about Okafor, man, because anytime, meniscus and stuff like that's pretty serious. I just hope it doesn't start like
the big man injury bug.
Yeah, especially with Philly, man. With Philly, it seems like that's just
all
the thing.
three.
We need to get a new trainer.
Something.
Well, in defense of Joel and Embiid. Embiid was hurt before he went there, and same thing with Noel with the ACL. So.
Well,
I think a lot of that is part of the process, as Pete well knows.
Well,
the guy gets hurt, even though he can come back halfway through the year, we're just going to sit him so we'll lose.
Well, as long as Okafor avoids everything Embiid did, he'd be fine, because Embiid pretty much didn't help himself either. So
going bowling.
Yeah, and not putting his leg brace on and dunking. So, yeah. But definitely, man, like I said earlier, man, it's too early. Like, people want to, say, oh, Russell's going to be a bust. He's on a crap team. They have bright spots, but all in all, is not a good team. And he's a rookie. Early on in the season, it's so much pressure. People comparing him to Magic Johnson, best passers is Magic Johnson, blah, blah, blah. That's just not helping the young guy, man. And, as long as they don't put a freaking leash on him like they've been doing, like they were doing, let him – I'm not saying take 10 shots in the first quarter like he did, but I mean, when Kyrie Irving's guarding you, then why not? But I think he has a bright future. My one thing that I'll take away is Okafor. I just hope that he can recover and be an impact player offensively, like I think he will in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. Speaking of my Sixers, they won tonight. They beat the Brooklyn Nets.
Yep, I just saw that.
Season. I'll take it.
Bill Simmons is happy.
Yeah, because now the more the Nets lose, the better the Boston Celtics are to get the draft pick there. Unfortunately, Robert Covington got kicked in the face.
Oh my God!
He got taken off on a stretcher. So
what?
He got kicked in the face by his own teammate Jeremy Grant. By accident, so obviously it wasn't intentional, but prayers go out to Robert Covington that he recovers pretty much the best player offensively right now on the.
Do you think they'll re-sign him because he's a free agent, right?
Yeah, I mean I think they do. The Sixers have got some decisions to make, of course. I think. Yeah. As much as I hate to say this because he's one of my guys, but Nick Stauskas, I don't know if he's got much of a career after next year unless he has a breakout year next year because he's got 1 year left on his rookie deal and he might be taking the Jimmer Fredette route.
Hey, he looks terrible.
He can't even survive on a crap team.
Yeah, it's not looking good. When you get outplayed by Hollis Thompson and at the time Jakar Sampson, who's now with Denver, it's not good. He can't defend anybody, and he gets wide open looks, and he's known as a shooter, and he can't knock them down. So, one thing is I can give you the year with Sacramento, but
Is he struggling to adjust to the NBA range?
No, because in college, if you watched him, he would pull up from NBA range and hit. Now, in college, he also, when he played for Michigan, he would also drive more and create more contact. In the NBA, it's almost like he drives and pulls away, kind of like almost like a little fade floater, so to speak. And he should know by watching Jimmer Fredette. Jimmer Fredette tried to do that, and he wouldn't get the contact or the foul call.
You know what? I was looking at him, and a lot of people will compare him to J.J. Redick. But if you look, J.J. Redick struggled his first 3 years in the league. One thing, he was still about hovering around 40% from the three-point line, even while struggling. He was still making shots.
And if you know his rookie year, he had the back injury.
Exactly.
So that threw it off. And Redick also, his instinct for being able to get open on cuts and pin downs was better.
Yeah.
He just had to adjust to the speed and how he was going to create, and then learn defensive concepts to get on the floor.
Stouts does not move well without the basketball.
No, and that's the difference. Jimmer Fredette doesn't move well without the ball. So that's why I use that comparison there.
Yeah.
But as far as rookies go, I was wanting D'Angelo Russell to come in to go to the Sixers because he's passed first. He proved me wrong.
Yeah.
Because I said he was basically a step and a half slow against other NBA point guards. But either he's really worked behind the scenes to get quicker, or it was just a normal adjustment, to the NBA that he had to learn, the speed of the game and everything.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Mudiay, for Denver is what I thought he was. He'd basically be a quick point guard that could run the team, can't shoot a lick, and that's going to continue to be the knock on him. 30% from three-point range, as a good month is not good as an NBA point guard.
That's a four-man John Wall to me.
Right. The thing about with John Wall is he worked endlessly, after his rookie season to work on that shot. Yeah. And so I want to see that out of Mudiay. I still think if you redraft all over again, I think that's the perfect spot for him. Now, somebody that disappoints me, and I wouldn't say he's a disappointment, more so than the team picking him should have known he wasn't a good fit, is Willie Cauley-Stein.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
Why would you have picked Willie Cauley-Stein if you knew you had DeMarcus Cousins? You knew Cauley-Stein wasn't an offensive player, so that means you would have had to move Cousins to the four in George Karl's system. It's almost like, well, George Karl was already there. Did you think you were going to force a trade of DeMarcus Cousins at draft day? Like, what was your thought process there? You could have taken Justice Winslow and put him at the 3, put Rudy Gay at the 4, and played the small ball lineup there. It would have been a hell of a lot better fit.
Man.
Yeah, and
just think about that.
Yeah, and I think both of us, all three of us, really like Willie Cauley-Stein.
I like him.
I like him for what he is.
Yeah, he's going to be good in the system.
Yeah,
you know what? He's Tyson Chandler.
Right, but he's not going to fit George Karl's system.
No,
he needs a running gun system.
I didn't understand that when it happened.
I'm going to make Lance happy. He needs to go to the Mavericks.
I wouldn't mind. I mean, we need athleticism, dude. Yeah. Honestly, we need it. Zaza started off hot, and now he's sizzling out, man. But David Lee is our saving grace right now. That's not a good sign.
Think about if Boston would have gotten a trade up, because they were dying to get Willie Cauley-Stein. They wanted him.
Because they got what? Kelly Olynyk. They have a bunch of offensive centers, right? They don't have any defensive centers.
I would keep Kelly Olynyk. I would probably trade Sullinger and another guy and get Cauley-Stein, and the Kings would probably be dumb enough to do it because Vivek is an idiot.
Yeah.
You can play Sullinger at the 4, though, no? Or
yeah, you can.
Yeah, I mean, he's okay offensively.
He's an undersized 5, so.
He just gets hurt a lot, though, right?
Yeah.
But that's okay because Randy is an idiot. He runs his team like it's NBA 2K.
Yeah,
And
not even because he's. I don't even know if he'd do good in that.
He'd get a bad grade in my GM.
yeah, another guy that I think expectations were a little bit high on Frank Kaminsky. I think he's fit in well
Yes.
with Charlotte for what he's done, but I think the expectations of some people were, that Boston offered, I think it was 4 draft picks total to get him get the pick from Charlotte to jump Miami and pick Justice Winslow, and Charlotte wouldn't give it up. Well, give up because they wanted Frank Kaminsky, and Kaminsky there, I don't know that he's ever going to be more than a role player. Kind of actually like the player he plays behind, like a Marvin Williams.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
Marvin
just a
Williams
stretch.
has developed that three-point shot, and just then kind of the guy that can put the ball on the floor a little bit, hustle, get you about 6 rebounds a game. I think that's a good comparison.
Ryan Anderson.
Hey, look,
Yeah.
man, it's just another bad pick by Michael Jordan. Let's just call it like it is.
I don't think it was a bad pick.
No one saw
Not
him
a
going.
bad pick.
Did y'all honestly think he would go that high as a lottery?
There were talks he could go high, even there were. I mean, going in, there were things
went
that he
top
could go
10,
a little
right?
higher than that. In the top 7, like 7, 8.
I don't know. I thought he would go like.
If they made that trade with Boston, they probably still could have got him.
That's stupid. When I saw that, I didn't understand why they wouldn't go for it. That's
Although
multiple
Miami,
draft
I would have
picks.
been surprised if they make the trade. Miami would have taken him.
Yeah.
I could see Miami because they didn't have. Well, they had Whiteside. So
I thought
don't
he'd
know.
be like 12 or like 14. I didn't think he'd go that
You
high in the
know
lottery.
who's been a really nice has been Jokic. Is it Jokic?
Yeah, for Denver.
Yeah, he can play.
Yeah.
Jokic can play.
Where'd he go? What spot did they take him at? Second
No,
round?
he came from overseas, and they took him in the second round.
Yeah, second round.
Yeah.
Man.
And the thing is, Nurkic was actually it's Nurkic, Laverne, and Jokic, and that Jokic was supposed to be behind Laverne and Nurkic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Nurkic has actually been outplayed by Jokic this year. Jokic
And
can stretch the
Laverne has
floor.
been really good too.
Yeah,
Yeah. And another surprise, Bobby Portis has been really good.
I think his playing time takes a hit now that Mirotic is back.
But he was good.
Yeah. We've got Julian Lamenzo 94 and Milos 2325 in the chat.
What's up, y'all?
Milos is saying that he likes Stanley Johnson better than Justice Winslow. What do you guys think as far as the game overall? I actually like Winslow defensively. I don't think he'll ever be a juggernaut on offense. I think Stanley Johnson will be better offensively than.
I always said this, and I think Stanley Johnson has Kawhi Leonard type game written all over him. Their styles are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
With Winslow, he's more of like a Ron Artest / Meta World Peace. I think Winslow's going to be the better defender, but I think Stanley Johnson's going to still be an elite defender, but he will be better offensively. So I think he'll end up being the better player. I think he can. I don't know if he'll get to Kawhi Leonard level, but he has like the same style of game. Because Kawhi Leonard, he couldn't shoot for shit coming out.
Yeah, and now look at him. That's what I'm saying. Don't sleep.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. And it's funny because also with Winslow, it's like, so is he a main piece or is he a trade piece?
Winslow's a main piece.
Because I mean, you'll hear rumors like of him being in packages of being sent to another team. But early on, he looked really good. I mean, they were so confident that they put him on LeBron, even though they didn't work out so well. But I mean, they were confident in him,
Right.
I don't know. That's a tough one, honestly, because
you know what it could end up being like?
similar.
Remember, it was the 2011 draft. This could be like a Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler type thing, where both end up really good, but they're really different players. Kawhi Leonard is not an ISO type of player.
no,
He's a
not.
system guy. So I think you may, and I think I could see Winslow being a Jimmy Butler type of player actually. Like, he's got the Artest defense, but he's big, strong. But he seems to have a little more at this point. Being young, only 1 year of college, he's better at this age than Artest was offensively. because Artest would have been a sophomore in college at this point in his career, where Winslow's at. So I would give the edge to Winslow offense. So I think you could see a Jimmy Butler type, lefty, of course. But Stanley Johnson, I think, would end up being better because he seems more gifted offensively at this point. But it could all change. They're both going to be really good players.
Does this draft go down as one of the strongest drafts in draft history?
Did you say one of the best?
Yeah, one of the best.
Well, 03 definitely is well, not the best, but the best of.
Yeah, 80. You got 84.
Yeah, with Barkley, Stockton, Jordan, and Hakeem, right?
Yeah.
Is that the one? That's solid right there.
You got 84.
03.
I'll even go 92 was pretty good. With Mourning, Shaq, Charles Sprewell, in their primes, 92.
97, Kobe, Steve Nash, Allen Iverson, right?
That was 96 draft.
96, there we go.
96 was a good draft.
That's a strong one.
97, I think, was 97 was good. You had Duncan, Billups.
There we go.
Van Horn was a good player. Van Horn was great.
Yeah, hey, he
was. That was a good draft.
2000 was one of the worst.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 2000. 2000, 2001 sucked. 03, 02 was a good draft.
Yeah.
03.
Yeah, Yao Ming, Amari Stoudemire.
03, man, that's
03. Yeah, 03 was good. 04 was 04. No, 05 was good. I say 05. 06 has turned out to be a lot better draft than I think initially thought.
Right.
When you think of Rondo, LaMarcus Aldridge, Rudy Gay, J.J. Redick, Paul Millsap, Kyle Lowry, and Brandon Roy. Even though he got hurt, he was good.
No, he's still a good pick. That's just
absolutely.
That's just unfortunate.
Yeah, that was a great draft. That was very 07, obviously. There's been a lot of good drafts.
I just wish Odin would.
This one really is gonna. I think surprisingly is a great draft because everybody thought really. I mean, outside of Porzingis was a wild card. I know Pete and I would have probably thought we thought he was going to be really good. But if you look at it, the only two guys they thought would be superstars were Russell and Towns. But you got Russell, you've got Towns, you've got Porzingis, you've got Russell, you got Okafor, Booker. Moutier is going to have a chance to be really, really good.
You've got guys coming on late in the season like Miles Turner.
Yeah,
we forgot about him.
Miles Turner looks
he's had a good second half, huh?
Is it fair to compare Miles Turner to LaMarcus Aldridge?
They're both stretches, right?
Very solid, with a little more range.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, LaMarcus.
This draft was deep, really deep. Jokic, Laverne, Moutier,
this is pretty deep.
Stanley Johnson, Winslow, all those guys we talked about.
Laverne came out last year. Laverne played a little bit last year.
Okay. So,
but you got like hidden gems. You've got, I think Jordan Mickey will end up being a decent player.
Hollis Jefferson.
Hollis Jefferson's been injured. I think Terrell Martin from Memphis will be decent.
Yeah.
If R.J. Hunter gets some time, I think he'll be a decent shooter.
Larry Nance Jr. looks like a player.
Yeah, Larry Nance Jr. and then Kevon Looney. You might see him do some things. Josh Richardson, second round for the Miami.
I really like, we're not talking about, but I think he's actually going to be really good, is Rashad Vaughn.
Vaughn is a scorer. I want to see him do more defensively.
I think he's capable. Yeah, he's capable of being really good defensively.
Lance, I know you'll agree with this. I want to see next year Justin Anderson get into the rotation.
Yeah, defensively, man, I don't know why he doesn't get more playing time. Offensively, not so much, but defensively, he works out there, and I think that's enough because we really don't even have a backup three, honestly.
Right. Why is he not getting the minutes?
Carlisle just doesn't play rookies, man. It's always like last year with Powell. And I don't even think Powell was a rookie last year, honestly. But
Powell was a rookie. Was it last? He was a rookie last year.
It didn't. It took him going to the D League to get some burn this year. But even then, he hasn't gotten any playing time. Same thing with Zaza. But yeah, with Anderson, it's just him being a rookie, man. Carlisle does not.
He's got that Thibodeau mentality.
Yeah, he doesn't play rookies, man. Especially, I mean, honestly, I kind of see why, because we're trying to win now. We don't have time for him to develop while the games are going.
That's fair.
But at the same time, he needs to be out there in certain lineups because he's athletic enough to guard certain players.
Yeah.
So at least let him try, just like Miami damn, what's his name? I just keep forgetting his
Winslow,
name. Yeah, they let Winslow guard LeBron. Why don't we just let Anderson guard,
the other team's best player?
Yeah, just for a couple of drives and see how it goes. It's just
Give him a half a quarter.
Especially we're on a 4-game losing streak. We can't always have Barea, Felton, and Williams on the floor at the same time and stuff like that. It's just not.
That's not going to work come playoff time.
No, because that's what the lineups we're doing right now. We got to have maybe gotta have Anderson out there. I want to say Wesley Matthews. He's getting his minutes taken away from him.
Is Anderson? Would you say he's either best ball defender right now?
I don't know. Wesley Matthews is not that bad, man. Honestly. But he's just short. He's 6'5" or 6'4".
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With Anderson, what's he, 6'7", 6'8"?
Yeah, and he's athletic and younger, obviously.
Yeah, and he doesn't have the Achilles problem.
Yeah, but Matthews surprisingly does play. He's doing better defensively than I thought he would. He's doing horribly offensively. I thought it would be reversed. I thought he'd be horrible defensively.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely we need to see Anderson playing more. I hope it's just not another wasted pick like freaking, what's the name, Shane Larkin. That was just a waste of a pick. We could have got Schroeder.
Yeah, I thought Shane Larkin was going to be a good player. I'll admit. He was great.
We worked Schroeder out.
Yeah.
And they were rumored that we were going to get him, and I was like, they were comparing him to Rondo, and I was getting happy at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, just rookies and Mavs don't go well.
But we saw how well Rondo worked out in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean... But I'm just talking not mentally, but just body-wise. He's built like Rondo.
His game is very similar, though. The way he plays is very similar. He's not as tall.
If I wouldn't mind going after him in free agency. I don't. Yeah. I know he's kind of a wild card, but I wouldn't mind going after him.
Yeah.
Another guy that I'm curious to see. He hasn't done much this year because of so many injuries. But Sam Decker out of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
He's a combo forward.
Right? Yeah.
So he'll get. Because Corey Brewer, more than likely, he'll go to free agency. And Houston basically picked up Michael Beasley. He put up 18 points tonight so far, but they're kind of in a dogfight late with Boston.
Did you say Beasley got 18?
Yeah, Beasley got 18
He's been
points.
Playing well for the Rockets.
Yeah, he's playing power forward. Monty Eunice is starting, but he's not playing very many minutes, which. We all know about the trade that got rescinded.
Yeah.
But I think Decker, obviously Houston's a playoff team. They're fighting for a playoff spot. But if they get to the point that somehow Utah catches them and they don't end up in the playoffs, for the last 4 or 5 games, I think they've got to showcase Decker for next season.
Yes.
I like Decker's game. I think that he would fit in Houston. But he's one to watch. And then next year,
2.0.
Yeah, another player to watch next year. Obviously, didn't get a lot of run because of obviously being stacked on the depth chart in Toronto. Is DeLon Wright? He's point guard. I thought that he would have been a perfect fit for the Bulls, but then Bobby Portis fell, and that was a logical pick by the Bulls to take him, but. I think he would have been a good fit. We would have never seen Aaron Brooks on the floor. But I'd like to see what he can do next year. And then another guy that intrigues me going into next season is Terry Rozier for Boston. Because he can defend and he can score. And Isaiah Thomas, of course, will be back. But they've got to figure out they can't go forward, 2-3 years in a row with a backcourt of Avery Bradley at 6'2", 6'3", and then have Isaiah Thomas at 5'7", and then turn around.
Bradley's got to go, and you let R.J. Hunter be the 2 guard.
Hey, it's working so far, guys.
Yeah, they're not winning.
Yeah, but it's not going to last.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's all the magic in the regular season can happen, but come playoff time, if you're getting your ass,
you know, there's one more. Let me throw one more rookie out there.
Okay.
Kevon Looney, the Warriors.
Oh yeah.
I think he's going to be a hell of a pick for them. I think, and they say they love him in the workouts and the things that he's doing.
And he's gotten some floor time. I mean, you knew it was bad when he got floor time coming off a major injury. It was bad for Jason Thompson, who couldn't see the floor. Now, Jason Thompson's worked in a good situation in Toronto. He's seeing the floor. He's actually started 2 games for Toronto. So, basically, yeah. Scola, they need to rest him for playoff time.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an older body. They're smart about that. So, moving on, guys. Let's talk about just briefly, because I don't want to get too much into it because we don't know much about the brackets until Selection Sunday happens. Right. So we could touch on it a little bit, more next week. But the NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. Of course, every year there's a couple Cinderella teams that screw all our brackets and our $1 million dreams go down the drain.
Yeah.
But I just want to touch really, really fast. Who do you guys have in your Final Four? I know we don't have the brackets, but based on just who you think have been strongest teams or a surprise team, who do you guys see as your Final Four?
I gotta do 2 scenarios here, just because we don't know the brackets. If LSU gets in, I'm putting them in the Final Four. That's 1. Okay. I'm going Duke, Michigan State, and my 4th one. It's a toss-up, and you'll kind of see in my 2nd scenario between Miami and Oklahoma. I'm going to go with Oklahoma. Now, if LSU doesn't get in, then that spot goes to Miami. And, of course, LSU will be my crazy pick. But with Duke, and I think Pete will agree, this is the classic year for them to go out in the 1st or 2nd round.
Man, you saw them versus Notre Dame the other day or yesterday?
Notre Dame's good, though.
Notre Dame lost tonight, though, to North Carolina.
Yeah. This Michigan State, I mean, we don't have to speak on that because we know Tom Izzo gets in the Final Four every damn year. No matter what their record is, they go. They're always ready at tournament time. And that damn Denzel Valentine?
Yeah.
That's an NBA player right there.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to rise come draft. I know he's a senior. They got him going, between 13 and 18, I would guess. And I think you may see him draft rise. I think he's going to get in the top 10. You know why? A lot of people are going to look at Draymond Green and say, you know what? We got to give this guy a chance. He's going to be prepared, as all Tom Izzo players are.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to go, Lance, or?
Okay, so this usually I have a somewhat of an idea, but even the experts this year can't even tell me who they think is a strong candidate for national, championship caliber team.
A lot of parity.
Yeah, either that or it's just the product's just not as good. You can take it however you want, but honestly, I don't get to watch that many games, and I just don't. I just have beef with the NCAA right now, man. I don't want to get too much into it, but I don't even know if Duke makes the Elite 8 this year.
That's why I said, man, this could be the classic year, 1st or 2nd round exit.
We
even though I got him in the Final Four.
Maybe not even North Carolina. What is Duke? Did Duke end up beating Notre Dame, or did they lose to them?
No,
they lost them because I saw they went to overtime, but I had to leave. So, yeah, man. And Duke's not in the top 10. I don't know what to think. This is a year I can't tell at all, man. But I might win it this year because usually the people that don't know what they're talking about win the bracket. So. We'll see how that goes. I can't put too much into it. I don't watch much college ball until the tournament starts.
That's fair.
Despite the blasphemy against my Duke Blue Devils,
I know, man.
I'm going to have to agree. I don't think they make it even to the Sweet 16. I just don't think that the team. I don't think the team is ready. I just think there's too many holes. I think that, in all honesty, Brandon Ingram is going to get exposed a little bit. And Grayson Allen's not going to be able to sit there and trip players up and get by, come, tourney time. I don't think they get knocked out in the first round, but I think 2nd round they get beat. I don't know what the brackets look like yet, so I can't really say based on the matchups quite yet, but I'll be definitely curious to see what they look like Sunday. I've got Virginia up there as a strong chance to get Final Four as one of my sleeper teams. Michigan State, they're going to be there. I think Villanova is going to be there. But if I had to take another team, I don't know, man. It could go combination depending on the brackets. I mean, North Carolina could be there, Kansas could be there, a number of teams. But I'd like to see, just a really competitive dog fight. Once Sweet 16, Elite Eight, all that. Once it comes down, I don't really get into it until about the Sweet 16. I start doing my draft analysis off of Sweet 16 and beyond, because that's when it really matters. Come draft time, there's always, some risers and fallers based on the tournament, and that's kind of what I look for. I think Buddy Hield is going to put on a show if Oklahoma can make some noise come tournament time. I think he's going to rise a little bit.
Two guys for you, Pete. You might have heard of them. My guy from Miami, Sheldon McClellan.
Yeah.
My guy from Texas A&M, Daniel House. Both Houston guys. Both Houston guys, but watch out.
Okay.
Boys can play. That's why I got Miami in the Final Four. If LSU doesn't make it. Or no, I said Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But Miami is another team to watch out for.
It'll come down to, based on, like you said, if LSU can get to the final against Kentucky, and
I think they get in.
They get in if they can get to the final against Kentucky. Definitely if they beat Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
But Ben Simmons, I mean, he's going to be a lock for the first pick.
And we all want to see him in the NCAA tournament. I know Lance does, Pete, and we all want to see him.
Yeah, anyone that's going to be in the NBA, I want to get a first-hand look before they actually get to the NBA, so I can have an idea of what they're about. Because I heard he can't shoot. Is that true?
He's not a very good shooter.
Yeah, I heard he has.
He plays, literally, I'm going to be 100% honest, I saw 5 minutes this year. That's all I've seen of him. He plays just like LeBron James. His mannerisms, the way he handles the ball, he plays just like LeBron James.
That's not a bad start. So
I'm not saying he is LeBron James.
Right.
He plays just like him.
Everybody said LeBron couldn't shoot in his first game. Exactly. He lights up the Sacramento Kings. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm curious to see what Jaylen Brown looks like as well. And another kind of sleeper player that I think is going to rise is Bryce Johnson, the senior out of North Carolina. There's not many true impact big men in this draft because I think Skal Libasari of Kentucky is, he's basically got to come back for another year. He's basically overmatched in the post. I think another year of college would do him well. And you've got, of course, Dragan Bender, the big man of Maccabi Tel Aviv. He's more of a small forward / power forward kind of build, kind of similar to like a Jan Vesely hybrid with Kristaps Porzingis basically having his speed.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
Not as good of shooters Porzingis, though, I would assume.
Right. We'll get more into the draft guys as we get into May. Of course, we'll do a bunch of draft shows and get a bunch of different analysis going on that. I think the tournament's going to be interesting. And Selection Sunday, I'll be watching. And I think everybody will. So, want to close out, guys, with the last couple games that are coming up over this weekend that we can touch on, and we'll do our analysis kind of on next week's show. Of the games, but I just want to do our previews of tonight's game of the rematch with Golden State and Portland.
Yes.
Want to start with that, and then we're going to jump into Thunders versus Spurs as a Saturday night matchup, and then Sunday is Cleveland and the Clippers. So what are you guys' thoughts on Portland and Golden State? Does Golden State kind of get that revenge because they lost to Portland earlier in the year?
It's going to be a blowout.
Man. Is it in?
In 3 quarters, Stephen Curry's going to have at least 47 points. Because it'll be a blowout. I'm calling it 47 points. He's going to be he remembers that. Trust me. Steph Curry plays with a chip on his shoulder. Coming into the season, all that talk, they're going to rough him up. He can't possibly repeat. Okay. Now he's only having one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen. He gets, Everybody says he got busted up by Damian Lillard. Not true. He was doing it to was it Ian Clark and Barbosa. So he remembers all that talk. Curry's going nuts tonight. Plus, he didn't play well the last game as far as shooting the ball. He still had the 10 assists. He was good, but he had an unstepping Curry-like performance outside of the half-court shot, which we all saw. So yeah, Curry's going nuts tonight. Golden State wins by 20 plus.
Okay.
It's not going to be close.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't got too much to say about this game. Golden State will take it. I'm not gonna go as far as saying how many points Curry's gonna have. I just hope for a good game, man. I hope at least first 3 quarters have a good game and then blow them out in the fourth quarter. I just want to be able to watch it the majority of the game and without changing the channel, because lately it seems like I've been changing the channel a lot on these games. And
you can't change the channel.
And then they come back and win. Yes, I know. That's why I got to stop doing that. But it's just in this day and age, it's easy to change the channel and do something else. But I don't know. I hope that Lillard and Curry combine for 65 tonight. That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay. I'm with you guys. I think Golden State comes out. But Damian Lillard is going to put up a fight, man.
Yeah. Hey.
That dude, him and McCollum have carried that team in the playoffs. Much respect.
Yep.
Most people had them bottom dwellers of the Western Conference. So, including myself. So.
Yep. You want to talk about chip on your shoulder? Lillard coming out of Weber State. I mean, not getting any looks, and look at him, and getting snubbed for All-Star games, even with this team performing how it is.
Right.
I think he's got just as big or maybe bigger chip on his shoulder than Curry does.
He may have a bigger chip, but I don't know if he plays like it.
Nah, well, I mean, he doesn't play on the level as Curry, but Lillard's already hit some big shots in his career too.
Yeah.
I mean, we know about the Houston game, so.
Oh yeah.
But I think it'll be fun regardless. I just hope, like I said, as long as it's fun for 3 quarters, man. I mean, then blow them out in the fourth. I just want a game that's at least 90%, 85% like watchable with the Warriors. 'Cause it seems like the Warriors, man, they just make. It's fun for them, but, man, I just want a competitive game. I don't want you blowing every team out. I want to be able to watch it and without changing the channel and changing it back. So.
Yeah, right. All right, moving on. We've got tomorrow night's matchup. I believe it's ABC, correct?
Yeah, it's ABC tomorrow night.
I'll be missing it.
So that's going to be the Thunder and the Spurs. We talked about the Thunder a little bit earlier when we were talking about the 2K Playbook update. Billy Donovan basically having the same scheme as Scotty Brooks, not being able to get your bench players involved. Deion Waiters, unfortunately, the death of his brother, he hasn't played the last few games. So they haven't had much of a scoring punch, off the bench. So they really had to rely on Durant, Cantor, and Westbrook because Ibaka has just been awful this year. With the Spurs system, they're the strongest contender we all know to Golden State's run. They're 9-1 their last 10 games, same as Golden State. I think the Thunder really going to have to hit on all cylinders for them to beat the Spurs tomorrow night. Aldridge, and now even having the addition of Kevin Martin being able to get to the foul line and draw, get points there. I think Kevin Martin's going to end up being an upgrade, of course, off their bench over inexperienced Jonathan Simmons and Carl Anderson, especially come playoff time. What do you guys think about tomorrow night's matchup?
All right. No, go ahead, because mine will be short. Go ahead. Mine will be short.
Yeah, so is mine. Mine's short and sweet.
All right.
I'm gonna give it to San Antonio just because we know what we're gonna get out of Oklahoma City.
Okay, so
it's gonna be close though.
Yeah. So you think it'll be a choke moment or what?
I don't think it'll be a choke moment. I just think San Antonio is gonna make they'll make more plays down the stretch. I don't want to say choke though. I think that's unfair.
So with me and the Thunder, I'm just tired of hearing about them because it's just wait till the playoffs start and then I'll care because it's the same narrative, same story. it's like when the Mavericks before they won their championship. Yeah, we know they can put up points. We know they're exciting to watch. Blah blah blah. But what will they do come playoff time? And that's just how I feel about the Thunder right now. Because I still think they'll give the Warriors run for their money if they play them. But I mean, we got to see that first. You know, I'm just tired of talking about the narrative. Oh, Westbrook and Durant. You know, they play one-on-one ball in the last 2 minutes. Westbrook, you know, doesn't make the right pass. This and that. I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to watch it because I'll be at work, but I'm gonna record it and still watch it. But I don't have much to say, man. Spurs will take it. I'm just tired. I'm just ready for the playoffs at this point with the Thunder because I mean we already seen what we've seen in the regular season.
Put time to put up or shut up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm tired of hearing about them.
Okay. Moving on to Sunday's matchup. Now I'll be at work probably when this game's going on.
Yeah,
in the afternoon, right?
Yeah, 3:30.
Yeah, I'll probably be at work too.
I'll check it out.
Off to about 6, so I'll probably end up missing most, if not all, of the game.
Record it, man.
I'll end up recording it, and I'll catch it, you know, when I get home. But Clippers against Cavs. Who do you guys got taking that, and why?
I'm going to Clippers. They need to get another win to keep pace with Oklahoma City. And I called it a couple weeks ago when it was in LA when they beat the Thunder. You know, people were asking Clippers or Thunder. I said Clippers. They need to win more, and they win these big games. They need this one. And they played Oklahoma City tough the other night in Oklahoma City. They played them tough for most of the game. I think they'll pull this out. And the Cavs, we talked about it earlier. They're just there's problems there. When there's smoke, there's fire. I believe it.
I think Cavs will take it. Make a little LA sweep.
I got Clippers. I think that it's going to add to more drama as a highlight for LeBron to exit during the offseason and all that crap that the media wants to come up with. I think right now the Clippers are actually, you know, doing pretty well. Jeff Green's been a good addition to them. You know, they finally got a decent small forward there. Once they get Blake Griffin back, I think they're really going to start rolling. If they get the 4 seed, they're definitely making the second round. Unfortunately, that means they're going to have the Warriors, which, I mean, they're pretty much, you know, not going to get maybe more than one win, if that. You know, I'd actually like to see them drop a little bit in the, you know, playoffs so they get, you know, to where they play San Antonio. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anything can happen this time of year. It's basically about another week or two, teams start really tuning up to, you know, get their rotations going and, you know, all that stuff, gearing up for the playoffs. So, you know, we'll see what happens there. Before we close out, guys, I want to thank the chat room again. Milos 2325. We had Alex Campbell jump in there. And then, of course, Julian Lamenzo 94. Those guys are always weekly additions to the chat room now that we finally got it rolling every week, despite the technical difficulties every time. I want to highlight real quick, Milos mentioned, and I didn't know this, with the Rockets beating Boston tonight, it was Boston's first home loss since January 6th.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And it was by the Rockets.
So, yeah, and Michael Beasley put up 18 points in 15 minutes. So, you know, good addition by Daryl Morey to get the China League MVP on the team to play the power forward spot. So, guys, real quick, want to roll through and let you guys touch on anything you want to touch on, whether it's life, NBA, anything you guys want to touch on.
I want to give a shout out to the Bloomington Purple Raiders basketball team. You know, they got made it to the sectional final tonight. Got down by Peoria Manual, but good season after losing their best player to leaving the team transfer a couple weeks ago. Losing their best player, still made it, which would be the sectional final in Illinois is the Sweet 16.
Okay.
So, outstanding season by the Bloomington Purple Raiders.
Nice.
Yeah, lost to Frank Williams' kid. His team beat him. DeMonte Williams was going to
Yeah,
Illinois.
yeah. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Congrats.
Okay.
Okay, so with me, I kind of put in the chat just now. I think it's time we start talking about shortening the season. Because I mean, I love basketball. It's my favorite sport. I mean, I can watch it every day, but it just seems sometimes after a while these matchups they're not necessarily meaningless, but it's like they lose their steam. So maybe shorten, not by too much, maybe like 15 games or somewhere around 20, like 20 or
66 game season.
yeah, like I think it's because I mean it's been brought up and but you know keep the season like the same length maybe, but I mean because it'll get rid of back to backs I think.
Shorten the preseason.
Yeah, 2 games. Well,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
it's like 6 or 7, maybe
Two
3
games.
games. 3
No,
games.
two
3
games.
games.
2 games is all they need.
Yeah, I think we need to start talking about shortening the season, man. As much as I love NBA basketball.
Okay. You know, Meek, you talked about high school basketball, and it got me thinking. I'm here in Georgia, and won a state title back when I was a junior in high school, and key contributor to the team. And I was, just thinking like, wow, I wonder what my team, is up to. And I'm embarrassed to say that my high school basketball team is 0-22 on the season. So I'm not going to name the high school because I'm not going to do them like that. But man, my heart is breaking right now. I mean, hell, I'm coming off of 2 knee surgeries and about to be 32 in the summer, and hell, I could will our team to at least 1 win for the season. So, I mean, come on, guys. Something's got to give there. But mine is typically what I like to touch on is the community and what some of the guys are doing in Sim Nation. Shady, Triple O, 18 is putting out video content. Sam Pham, man, his breakdowns on NBA 2K are just insane.
I love Sam Pham.
I mean, he's taught me a lot of concepts within the game to get easier looks. And then a website that I have to say embarrassingly didn't discover until pretty much right before the end of the season last year is Basketball Breakdown.
Yeah.
Man, the guys over there,
Yeah.
woo-wee, boy.
That's what I
Their
follow.
just analysis, both video and written, is just insane. So, shout out to them. Shout out to Books, Nelson Blake II. Man, we're shooting for you to come on this show soon.
Absolutely.
I know you're super busy right now with your art stuff, but want to get you on. I'm glad we were able to get Gonzo back on. Czar, man, we're putting the pressure on you, buddy. We need the Sim Hangout back. We need you leading the Sim Hangout back.
Yes.
We have no problem doing our show, but man, this show would be nothing without you.
Absolutely.
And shout out to Big Mama and all her efforts of producing the show every week. And just the rest of the Sim Nation. All the guys that always contribute content, Jersey Made. I'm trying to think of some other people. Of course, our guy Shoe Collector 9. Shoe Collector, I'm hitting you up this week, man. We're doing our Batman versus Superman show next Friday. Can't do it Thursday because I got something going on with St. Patrick's Day, but Friday night we're probably going to get a late start because we got a special guest. I'm not tweeting it out yet because I want to get confirmation that guest will be able to come on. But sports fans and video game fans alike will be very happy to see him on the show. So just shout out to the nation. So, anything else, guys, before we?
That's all I've got.
Okay. Well, everybody, until next time, check out our archives. It's the Hardwood Hoops Hangout. You can look us up on YouTube. Hit all of us up on Twitter. We're always really big about getting new people on the show. We were going to have a special guest tonight, but unfortunately our first female guest got a little bit under the weather. She wasn't able to make it. but we're going to reschedule that and have her on coming up because as many female viewers and supporters as we can get, you know, we're all for. So until next time, everyone, this has been the Hardwood Hoops Hangout, and catch you guys on the next one.